Shalom. Call halal Yahweh Bashan Awashai Bashan Wakakodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners, and to the Aquath that are listening and learning to you, I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone, coming at you with another lesson in truth. And this is a response to dismantling and debunking of truth about Ashkenazi Jews Unpacked. And the name of the video is, it just says in the title, Fake Jews with a question mark. And the truth of the matter is, yes, indeed they are. I want to read a couple scriptures, all right? And the first scripture being Ezekiel 36 and I believe it's 36 and 5. And it reads, Therefore thus saith Yahweh power, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumea, the Edomites. All right? Idumea is the Greek way of saying Edomites, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds to cast it out, the Israelites, for a prey. All right. Prophesy therefore concerning the land of Israel, and say unto the mountains and to the hills and the rivers and the valleys, Thus saith Yahweh power, Behold, I have spoken in my jealousy and in my fury, but ye have become ashamed of the heathen. So literally the land of Israel was appointed into the hands of his enemies, as its heritage was appointed into the hands of his enemies once before in the past. So and that was completed by the hat-wearing 1948ers who will scream anti-Sem every time you bring out evidences that prove that they're lies. Anytime you say anything that's at this point anything that goes against what the mainstream is saying, whether it be true or not, it could be considered misinformation or anti-Sem or something else. All right. So I'm going to allow this guy to speak and then just destroy him with truth, with many resources of information plus scripture that completely solidify the fact that when the people who have made these bold statements that the people in the land of Israel are imposters and that they are indeed fake Jews, that it is indeed a 100% truth.
What happens when someone tries to revise the history of your people? This is something that Ashkenazi Jews face due to a false but oft-repeated academic theory about their ancestral origin.
Okay, so once again, Ashkenazi is a son of Japhet. There is no Ashkenaz son in the line of Shem. That you can look up for yourself. All right? There is no Ashkenaz that is Shemitic. All right? Just know that. All right? Look it up for yourself. Ashkenaz is in the bloodline of Japheth. All right? Of their Japhetic people. There is no Ashkenaz in the line of Shem.
What is this debunked origin story? Why are some people sharing it? And what does it say about Ashkenazi Jews and, more importantly, those who are spreading disinformation about them? First, some necessary background info. The two largest communities or denominations within Judaism are Sephardim and Ashkenazim. Today's Sephardim, or Sephardic Jews, are the descendants of the Jews who arrived on the Iberian Peninsula after the Babylonian and Roman exiles.
Okay. Now that he said that, we're going to go into the book From Babylon to Timbuktu, a history of ancient black races, including the black Hebrews. All right. And we're going to go, and that's this book right here by Rudolph R. Windsor, scholar, academic scholar. All right. Rudolph R. Windsor. And we're going to read from page chapter 3. We're starting at chapter 3, page 26. The Sumerian, Babylonians, and Ethiopians were black people. They contributed much to the advancement of civilization because they studied astrology. They were They were capable of formulating many principles of astronomy. These black people were so sagacious and skillful that they were able to divide the years into months, weeks, hours, minutes, and seconds. In mathematics, they developed the decimal system. The most famous of the Babylonian kings was Hammurabi, who ruled about 2150 BC. He was outstanding for the codification of the system of laws founded on the retaliation as a punitive measure for crime. He also established the 7-day week and the last day and the rest day of the Sabbath. This idea was adopted by the Hebrews and then transmitted into the Greeks, months, Romans, and other Europeans. Now, I'm going to beg to differ with that portion because it's written even in the Josephus that Abraham brought mathematics and science to the Hamitic people. All right. The literature of the Babylonians is quite interesting. Long ago, these black people wrote with sharp instruments on clay tablets. Thousands of these have been found, and some of them disclose a popular work known as the Emma Elish, the creation epic, the story of how the world began derived from the Babylonians. After the dispersal of mankind at the Tower of Babel, the black Hamites migrated toward the east, south, and southwest. These black Hamites settled in the land of Canaan, later called Israel. The land of Canaan gets the name from the youngest son, Ham, who was Canaan. All right. The Canaanites were primordial aborigines of the land of Canaan. We may call them Africans because their blood relationship to other inhabitants of African continent. There were 11 Canaanite tribes living in the land of Canaan and surrounding it before the black Israelites possessed it. The great cultural commercial cities of these black Canaanites were Tyre, Zidon, sometimes written Zidon. The city gets its name from Sidon, the firstborn son of Canaan. The Sidonians, the Tyrians, were the same race. All right. In many history books, you read about the Sidonians under the name Phoenicia. The Greeks called the Sidonians Phoenicians, land of palm, because they found many trees there. But the Sidonians called the nation by the name of Canaan or Canaan, Phoenicia. The land of Sidonia was located north of Palestine along the coast of the Mediterranean Sea, bounded by this. Well, you know what? That's enough. All right. Let me just jump down to this one. The black people were proficient in philosophy, astronomy, geometry, arithmetic, navigation. And then it names all these other places, Crete, in the north of Africa, near Tunis, all the way up into Babylon, basically. So what it's showing you is that the people in the so-called Middle East was a dark race of people, and there are plenty of relics and evidences to prove that. All right. Then this guy made the false statement about the people on the Iberian Peninsula. Well, he made this statement, and then he's going to try to use DNA in there, and he'll mention that later again. But you have to remember, there were a number of Israeli scientists that going back a couple years that even said that DNA can be falsified and manipulated, and that's, you can look that up for yourself. But here, let's read from, this is the book, The Negro Question, the Missing Link, the King of the Scots. So we're going to talk about relics and images that were found. All right, and here are the books and the information and the years and the scholars from way before Arthur Koestler, which he's going to say debunked, which it isn't. He said it, but that's not true. Professor Boyd Dawkins, Our Earliest Ancestors, Bygone Days, the lecture delivered in a public hall, Collyhurst, Manchester, on the 1st of January. On January the 8th, 1879. The Ancient Britain Scots are short black people, pages 103, 107. All right, so you can go and look these sources up. Dr. Thurman, Nature Journal Science, page 92. From the evidence at hand, it seems that the Iberian black man occupied the whole of Western Europe at one time. Why? Because they dug up and found the body. So just because they don't want to teach you that in whatever academic resources that this guy from Unpacked used, well, there you go. Professor Huxley, 1870, Iberian race, page 332. That's where the information came from. Or this information comes from. The Iberian Basque, meaning bodies, black bones have been found all over Europe with animals. All right. So this guy is making statements that are completely fabrications and whitewashed history, lies. All right. So we've caught him up. We could actually finish the video right here, but we're going to continue.
Before fleeing to southern Europe, the Balkans, and North Africa after the Alhambra decree, a record that is not contested. Ashkenazim, or Ashkenazi Jews, are those whose ancestors arrived in the Danube Valley and Rhineland areas after the Roman exile.
Now remember, Ashkenazi is the son of Japhet. There is not any biblical reference which you can find in the Holy Bible, in the Torah or the Tanakh, that will refer to Israelites or Semitic people as Ashkenaz. Remember that.
With some accounts dating as far back as 321 CE, but there are some who call these historical events into question. A hypothesis dating back to the late 1800s states that Ashkenazi Jews are all descendants of the Khazars. In the 600s CE, in southeast Russia, a multi-ethnic conglomerate of Turkic people founded a powerful state made up of people from many different ethnicities. This was the kingdom of Khazaria.
So how did a whole bunch of people of different ethnicities get into Europe, and when and how did that happen? All right. Here is from the page, which would definitely get you deleted by bringing this book out, Esau, Edom, okay? And this is from page 7, and we'll just read it. It says, the Edomites were driven into the old territory of Judah. The Maccabean family, a remnant of the true Judites, had ruled Judea from 166 to 37 BC under Judas Maccabees. First Maccabees 5 and 3, recaptured the city of Hebron from the Edomites in 164 BC. During the time John Hyrcanus, 135 to 105 BC, the nephew of Judas, the Judites were again faced with hostility of Idumeans, the Edomites. Hyrcanus confronted the Edomites, causing a decisive change in relations between the two factions. John Hyrcanus conquered the whole of Edom, undertook the forced conversion of its inhabitants to Judaism. That's also written in the Josephus. Thenceforth, the Edomites became a section of the Jewish people. That's where you get Judaism, Jewish, from. All right. They actually converted way back then, and then they turned around and converted again in during the Dark Ages. This is thus the juncture in time, the Edomites, and I'm going to read that first, Maccabees 15 and 33. Thus, the injuncture of time, the Edomites were then incorporated with the Jewish nation, and their country was called by the Greeks the Roman Idumea. All right. So let's grab that first Maccabees 15 and 3. Okay. Let's read that. First Maccabees 15:33, Salakia. And it reads, Then answered Simon and said unto him, We have taken other men's land, nor holden which appertaineth to others, but the inheritance of our fathers, which our enemies had wrongfully in their possession a certain time. So this same group of humanity is still running around to this very day, referring to themselves as Jews. Now, to go back to the fervent crest, the whole area of the so-called Middle East was a part of the land of Canaan's land, where they took it from the Canaanite tribes, which there was 11 dark African tribes in the land of Canaan, which spans from the whole everything north of of Africa, including the land of Israel, all the way up into what Babylon was, which Iraq today, was all considered a part of Ham's land, is where the Canaanites were. So this is what the group of scholars from the Young's Bible Dictionary says about Ham. Let's read about these Hamites, okay? And the definition is split between pages 255 and 256. So it reads, let's see if it'll focus. There we go. Ham, a son of Noah, Cush, and Egypt, Put, and Canaan. See further on each of these. While they all may have been dark-skinned, they were not forefathers of the Negroid, the Israelites, all 12 tribes, races, but rather the peoples associated with Egypt, north of the continent of Africa. The Egyptians thought of Canaan as their province even into the very late times. So there it is. So everything that was north of North Africa, the land of Israel, the fervent crest, the land of Canaan, where the Philistines, where they were constantly battling with the trying to get that to focus again. Come on now. Those were so-called black people. So just like here, this is another attempt to whitewash history, because the truth of the matter is, during the Dark Ages, almost the whole outside of this Turkic people that was in Khazaria, the majority of Europe was being ruled by so-called black people. All right, now to solidify evidences, all right, because once this guy's going to try to use pseudoscience, we already told you how they can fabricate DNA and how it was admitted by a bunch of Jewish or Israeli scientists that DNA indeed can and has been fabricated. This is page 9 of the Roman Empire of the Edomite. All right, because the people in the land of Israel, according to Scripture and prophecy, they're actually Amalek. All right, they're Edomites. All right, this says this grand secret was certainly discovered and disclosed more than 12,000 years ago. That the answer to the question, whence came the Romans, may have returned, even registered in writing before the birth of Hamashiach. The response proceeded neither from the Greek nor from Roman, but from the despised Jew, that it has been preserved to the Jewish targums that exist amidst the fables and impieties and absurdities and blasphemies of the Jewish Talmud, and that it may comprehend 20 words. The Romans came from Esau, who is Edom. The Italy is Idumea, Rome, Basra of the Hebrew prophets, and Basra, which any city, any place where the Edomites are, is going to be visited by who the Lord ignorantly calls Jesus Christ in Isaiah 63 upon his return. His promise that he's coming back to destroy Basra. Okay, so once again we got evidences and prophecies. All right, Zechariah 9:6 said that a bastard, which is a fake, fraudulent people, would dwell in Ashdod. All right, Ashdod is a port city, Tel Aviv, modern day. Okay, so this guy is a liar. Okay, and it's just as simple as that. So with that, I'm gonna give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh by Hashem Shai by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers. You know, and brothers should do responses and you know, on this video and just annihilate this guy for even opening his mouth. So just like vocab alone, man, you know, it's just, you Edomites just need to be quiet, because every time you open your mouth, you just give us more evidence to shame you and you know, and show you that you're a liar, that you've lied. Shalom. Wa abba ball.